In a futuristic world, the field of robotic science has been highly developed. Mankind manufactures an artificial life form called the surrogate. The surrogates are realistic-looking robots that are linked to people's brains. They are connected to the brains with a device that has more than 100 sensors. When a human is seated on a chair-like device, those sensors attach to different parts of the human brain. By this process, whatever the human thinks of, the surrogate does. Officials describe it as controlling your second body through your brain. The inventor of the surrogate, Lionel Cantor, made it to help disabled people live life as normal human beings. However, only 3 years later, it starts to be used in wars to strengthen the military. As more devices are manufactured, they become cheap enough to be bought by the general public. This event changes the course of human life. People begin using their surrogates to go outside their homes, and eventually, they become fully dependent on it. Because of the surrogate, you can go out without having to physically leave the house, which minimizes the risk of accidents, robberies, and diseases. Moreover, you can look however you like without having to go through plastic surgery or exercise. The surrogate will be the new you and will interact with the people of your life while you control it from your home. Only 7 years after the invention, the largest surrogate company, named VSI, released a statement saying that currently 98% of the world population uses surrogates in different aspects of their lives. Humans live in near total isolation, rarely leaving the comfort of their homes. Their surrogates interact with other people's surrogates, which has become the fashion of life now. Because of the use of surrogates, violent crimes, communicable diseases, and discrimination decrease to a record low. However, not everyone is fond of this technology. There is a minority group that believes that humans are not supposed to live through machines. They have established surrogate-free zones in different parts of the US and are led by a man widely known as the Prophet. It is now 14 years after the invention of surrogates. A young man is on his way to a club. He lies to his dad on the phone, saying that he is about to go see an opera. At the club, he jumps off from a balcony but lands safely, suggesting that the guy is a surrogate. He meets a girl while dancing and brings her out. As the two make out, a man on a motorbike uses a device on the two to kill them. When the paramedics and police arrive, they find out that the guy's surrogate's memory chip is completely fried, so they cannot find his registered owner. However, the girl surrogate is registered by the name of Cameron McAllister. 2 FBI agents named Tom Greer and Jennifer Peters find Cameron's address and visit her. When they reach the house, they find out that Cameron is actually a middle-aged man who has been killed while sitting on his surrogate linking device. This is the first murder in years, so the detectives are shocked. The scene cuts to a running subway. Tom is returning home from work, and we see everyone around him is a surrogate. When he reaches home, he brings water for the real him, who looks vastly different. The real Tom has been using his handsome and young-looking surrogate to live his life for him. After putting the surrogate to his station, Tom walks out of his room to meet his wife, Maggie, but instead he is greeted by Maggie's surrogate. Tom hasn't seen his wife in a long time and only talks to her surrogate. Tom suggests they go for a vacation somewhere, but Maggie would rather send her surrogate for vacation and experience life through her. Somewhere else, some teenagers find their friend Jared Cantor dead in his dorm room while still on his stim chair. At the FBI office, the detectives are discussing the case. They figure that whatever device the surrogates were killed with killed their owners as well. Such a case was deemed impossible till then, because the owners are not supposed to feel what surrogates feel. They find out that Jared was the son of Dr. Lionel Cantor, the inventor of surrogates. Tom and Jennifer make an appointment with Dr. Cantor and go to meet his surrogate. They figure out that Cantor has been using several surrogates at a time, which is considered illegal. However, since he is the inventor, the detectives dismiss it. Jared was using one of Cantor's surrogates when he got killed. This makes the detectives believe that the killer was after Cantor, not Jared. They then go to the largest surrogate manufacturing company, VSI headquarters, to investigate, but the CEO dismisses them, claiming that the surrogates are 100% safe to their owners. By the camera footage embedded in Jared's surrogate when he was killed, they find the picture of the man who killed him. They go to a colleague named Bobby Saunders, who is an administrator of the FBI computer system. He figures Jared's killer's name is Miles Strickland. Bobby also has access to every single surrogate in the US and can turn them off at any time. After finding Miles's location, Tom and a colleague pursue him on a helicopter. However, as they are about to get him, Miles flashes all the detectives with the weapon, killing both the surrogates and the operator. He also harms the real Tom and kills his friend. Their helicopter crashes in a restricted area filled with anti-surrogates. Before Tom can get the killer, his surrogate is killed by the anti-surrogates. The real Tom is injured because of the weapon. He walks out of his room and falls unconscious. Then we see Miles meet the leader of the anti-surrogates, the Prophet, who asks him what he told Tom. Miles insists that he didn't reveal any information, but the Prophet kills him anyway. Tom wakes up in the hospital, where he finds out he has been suspended for a week for landing onto the restricted area. However, he is determined to solve the case, so he goes outdoors without the surrogate for the first time in years. He then goes to the restricted area to meet Miles again, but comes across his body being cremated. Tom asks the Prophet about the weapon Miles used earlier, but he claims he has never seen one. The Prophet's men realize he is a cop and beat him. Tom gets out of the restricted area when a young man offers him a ride home. Turns out the man is Cantor's surrogate. He asks Tom about Jared's murder case. Cantor advises Tom to focus on the weapon and where it came from. When an injured Tom reaches home, he sees Maggie with her young friends hanging out in the living room. Maggie gets nervous when she sees him, but he doesn't confront her. Later, Tom sees her talking to a man and beats him, but the man is a surrogate, so it doesn't bother him. In the following scene, we see a man break into Jennifer's house and kill her. Right after, he takes control of her surrogate. The following day, Tom visits the military general and asks him about the weapon. The general informs him that the weapon is called an overload device. It was made as a war weapon to bug the surrogates with a software virus. However, the officials didn't know that the virus would kill the operators as well. After they figured it out, the manufacture of the weapons was ceased. VSI was the manufacturer of the weapon, and they destroyed every unit of it. However, this one weapon was left out. In exchange for the information, Tom tells them that the restricted area has the weapon. Then we see the Prophet hand his men the weapon to deliver it to Jennifer's surrogate. Tom then goes to Maggie's work and asks her if she misses their son. It turns out that the two had lost their son in a car accident, and Maggie has not been able to recover since. We get a glimpse of her real self, who is old and wrinkly, a total opposite of her surrogate. She and Tom are still grieving the loss of their child. Somewhere else, the military attacks the Prophet and his men to get the weapon back from them. However, when they shoot the Prophet, who is the leader of the anti-surrogates, they find out that he is also a surrogate. The scene cuts to Dr. Cantor on his computer, monitoring the person in front of the Prophet. We get to know that Cantor was the one posing as the Prophet to stop the use of his own invention. Tom meets Jennifer's surrogate, who is now being controlled by Cantor. She tells Tom that Cantor's son was killed by VSI and their boss, Andy Stone. They had figured out that Cantor was trying to stop the use of surrogates, which would cause VSI a huge loss. Therefore, they, along with Stone, planned to kill Cantor with the weapon. However, they killed his son mistakenly. Carter couldn't bear the thought of his son dying and made it his mission to kill all the people using surrogates. However, he needs the weapon and a code to make it function. Jennifer already has the weapon. She tells Tom that Stone was involved to kill Jared and asks him to bring Stone's computer file to her as evidence. Tom goes to meet Stone and knocks him out. He then downloads everything from Stone's computer and rushes out. Now that Jennifer finally has the weapon and the code, she has to go to Bobby to induce the virus through the weapon to every surrogate in the world. Tom realizes that Jennifer's surrogate has been taken over, but just then, they get into an accident. Jennifer runs to Bobby while Tom rushes to the root of the problem, Cantor. Jennifer holds Bobby at gunpoint and induces the virus into the system. In a few minutes, everyone with a surrogate will die. Just then, Tom reaches Cantor's mansion and asks him why he is doing all this. Cantor replies that he had made the surrogates to help handicapped people, not for everyone to be dependent on it. Now that his son is dead, he doesn't want to let his death go in vain and wants to end the surrogate addiction. After laying out his reasons, Cantor takes a pill and kills himself. Tom takes over Jennifer's surrogate and asks Bobby how he can stop the virus from spreading. Bobby quickly tells him the codes, and the two successfully save the surrogate's operator. Now Tom has to click yes to save all the surrogates. He hesitates as Bobby tells him they only have a few seconds left. He finally presses no, disabling all the surrogates in the world. We see hundreds of surrogates stop working in the street. Soon, their owners come out of their home for the first time in years. Tom rushes back to his home to see the real Maggie is not in her room. He finds her in their son's bedroom, and the movie ends as the two hug.